right, day 2 of week number 3. Fantastic, good job. We're doing week 3, day 1. Things are getting harder, right? We're working out longer, the exercises are more complicated. Today is no different. We're going to add a 5th exercise. We did 4 last week on day 2. We're going to do 5 this week. And we're going to add a twist to the squat, or to the lunge rather, excuse me, but it's going to be a bit of a different twist than last week. If you remember, last week what we did is we lunged and then we twisted as we came up. This time, if you can, this one is particularly difficult, okay? It's very unstable, so make sure you go nice and slow and make sure that you're fairly strong, in fairly good condition, and have a good base of support before you try this, okay? Because we're twisting at the bottom. This is actually a strength and conditioning exercise that's used for baseball pitchers. Because if you think a baseball pitcher, when they throw, right, they lunge and they twist, okay? That's all we're doing here. We're going to come down and at the bottom, we're going to twist into this knee. It's tricky because you got to stay on the heel of that foot, keep this knee about that far off the ground. And if that's too hard, don't worry about it. Just come down halfway, twist, back, and then stand up, okay? You want to twist into that knee because that creates more instability than twisting away from it, right? And I want to create that instability because I want you to gain stability. And by training instability, you gain stability, okay? So, first exercise, lunge, twist. We're alternating, right? You're going to step out with the other foot, same thing, twist. And as you're twisting, try and make sure you're not rising at the same time. Try and keep that low position, okay? If that's too much, if it's too hard, you're not stable enough, just do what you did last week. Twist at the top, okay? Not a problem, okay? Twist at the top. That might be too much, not a problem. Just like last week, just do a regular lunge, okay? Easy enough. Make these adjustments. Do half lunges if you have to. Half lunge, okay? Not a problem. And again, if that's still too unstable, the squats are better for you, just do squats. Either regular ones or half ones, and feel free to, if you want, when you're squatting, twist like we did last week, okay? Those are your leg options for the compound movements. Again, like on day 1 of this week, you can do hip thrusters, you can do donkey kicks, your legs straight or knees bent, okay? You can do the 3-way, again with legs straight, your knees bent, and I'm going to give you another one here. If you want, you can hold on to a chair, because eventually we're going to do this not holding onto a chair, and you can do a single leg deadlift, okay? So just bend over on one foot, keep that knee bent. If you can do it without the chair, fantastic, right? But have a chair nearby, just in case. Great alternative, okay? Lots of opportunity, lots of different options for your lower body, fantastic. Now for the upper body, this is going to be pretty similar to what we did last week with a little bit of a twist. The main one is going to be, again, if you can, using weights or bottles of water or cans, up, and then a delt raise. Up, delt raise. Up, delt raise. So we're mixing exercises, okay? Up, delt raise. And as an alternative, we had suggested last week and the week before that you can always do this without weights, not a problem if that's too hard on your shoulders, okay? If coming up over your head is too hard on your shoulders, try first rotating your hands in like I suggested last week. Do this, okay? See if that makes a difference, and if not, just do side delt raises or front delt raises or both, okay? Or the sliding delt raise like I showed you last week. Lots of options. This way you don't have to raise your shoulder too high, put it in a compromised position. You don't want to create joint pain. Rule number 1, no joint pain, okay? So that's the push and the pull. Nothing really different from last week. We're going to, if you have a band, turn the camera just a bit so that you can see this. Okay, if you have a band, you can do this kneeling down, or you can do it sitting on a chair, no problem. You're going to grab the band nice and high, and you're going to pull down, pulling your elbows into your body, okay? Looking up, Squeeze those shoulder blades as you come. Squeeze. Squeeze. Not everybody has a band, and not everybody has a band with a door attachment. No problem. Just pretend you have a band, okay? Just like last week, squeeze those shoulder blades, pull those elbows in. If that's not challenging enough though, because some of you might want more of a challenge, you don't have a band, and it's not challenging enough, not a problem. Let's do what we were doing on day 1 of this week, the row, fly, row, fly, row, fly. Okay, it's not a vertical pull, but it is a pulling motion, so it's better than nothing. We want to practice those pulling motions where we're squeezing the shoulder blades. Really want to work on the posture, especially in a day and age where we're, texting or we're hunched over working on a computer. We really need to get that posture expanded. And the final exercise we're going to do today, by the way, is also to help, okay? And I'll explain that in a minute. The core exercise, this is called a Russian twist. Not everybody's favorite, but there are ways of making it harder or easier depending on what level you're at. Easiest is to sit with your feet on the floor, put your hands out in front of you, and rotate from side to side. This is still pretty challenging, okay? I'm going to use my core to hold myself up here, and then twisting. Don't just move your arms, okay? Move your body. Your belly button should be pointing where my finger's going, okay? So you're rotating your lower body. You're rotating around your trunk. To make it harder, add a weight, okay? To make it even harder, lift those feet up, okay? Whatever, you might be able to do it with feet up, no weight, okay? You might be able to do it with a weight, no feet up, whatever. Choose the level of difficulty that works for you, okay? So on day 1, we did a linear isometric motion, which means that we worked your rectus abdominis muscles, the ones that, you do the crunches with, and we held them in a plank position. Right now we're doing something rotational for the core. I want to keep everything in balance. If I'm doing something linear one day, I want to do something rotational the other day, right? So that's the ab exercise. Now, I was talking to you about posture, that there's 2 ways of working posture. And to do this, I'm going to use the stability ball. If you don't have one, don't worry. You can literally do this one facing in on a couch, leaning over an ottoman, whatever you like, okay? What we're going to do here is I'm on my knees. I'm going to drape myself over the ball with my hands up here, okay? Or I can have my hands here if I want, and I'm going to extend up. I'm squeezing the muscles alongside of my spine to arch my back, okay? Down, up and hold. Down, up and hold. This is called a back extension. Up and hold. Some of you may want to do it up on your toes. Not a problem. It's a little less stable this way, a little more challenging. Easy enough, okay? Some of you, if you have, you can hold on to a weight, right? Make it a little more challenging for yourself as you do it. Up, all right? So when we're working posture, when I'm working the pull muscles, I'm pulling my shoulder blades together, sticking my chest out. That helps my posture, but also poor posture has a contracted spine, okay? I want to extend my spine, so this motion here is training spinal extension versus spinal flexion or contraction, okay? So I want to train spinal extension and shoulder blade retraction to really work on that posture. So these are 2 great posture exercises, okay? And in our first set, I'm going to give you an alternative for the posture exercise as well that you can do over a stability ball or over an ottoman. Okay, so let's get to it. You ready? I'm going to give you about 30 seconds just to shake it off because I know you've been trying the exercises and trying to follow along. I want you to check in with yourself before we start. Ask yourself, what does my body feel like it can handle today? Okay, can it handle 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute? Which of the exercises does it feel it can handle? Okay? You may want to push yourself and try and go to a more difficult exercise that you were planning on, trying and then backing off if necessary. Or you may want to start out easy. Do what's right for you. Remember, you're competing against you, nobody else. We may have a visit from my dog. That's okay. Peppermint will be the next. Yeah, Peppermint's going to join us for this workout. Lainey joined us for the workout before. Hello. Hello, Peppermint. You say hi to the people? You say hi to the people? Okay. All right, here we go, folks. Lunge with the twist at the bottom, okay? Here we go. down, twist. Okay? Down, twist. Remember, be very deliberate. Don't go too fast, okay? Nice and slow. The faster you go, the more you might topple over, okay? And if this is too much, like I said, only do a half lunge, not a problem. Okay, half lunges are just as good. Get that twist in. Make sure that your trunk is turning, okay? Half lunge, twist. Half lunge, twist. Maybe lunges are challenging enough, so you're just going to try a regular, a full, or a half lunge without any funky twisting. Not a problem. Okay, not a problem. Or squats. Right? Too much, not a problem. Donkey kicks. Single leg Romanian deadlift. Okay? Leg circles. Forward, side, back, whatever works for you, okay? If you do one leg at a time, exercise at one leg at a time, do 30 seconds, then 30 seconds. Or if you're doing 30 seconds total, do 15 and 15, whatever. Just do half and half, okay? Here we go. We're on to the push, vertical push exercise. And hit this timer, grab my weights, and off we go. Press, fly, press, fly, press, fly, press, fly. You want to make this more difficult, you just use more weight. If you don't have dumbbells that you can use to progress, not a problem. Just try and find something that's heavier in the house. General rule is a liter of water is going to be about 2 pounds, okay? A gallon of water is more like 8, 8.5. And then you get those funky 5-gallon bottles of water, you know, that fill water coolers like I have down here. That's like 45 pounds. That would be hard to do. I wouldn't be able to do the exercise with those, okay? All right, if that's too much though, not a problem. Just use your hands, or again, just do delt raises, delt fly, delt raise, whatever you want to call it, if going up over your head hurts too much, okay? There we go. That is your push exercise. Now we're going to go into the pull. Assuming you have a band, start with that and pull into your body. Okay? Pull. Got to grab equidistant on these things. Make sure you're looking straight ahead or up a little bit. Okay? And you're in as close to the door as you can be, so that it's a vertical pull, not a horizontal pull. Okay? All right? Or if you don't have the band, no problem. Just do what we were doing on day one. Okay, row and fly. Row, fly. Row, fly. Row, fly. I'm doing it without any weights. You can hold on to weights as heavy as you want. Warn you though, you'll be unable probably to do the same weight for the fly as you do for the row. The row uses the biceps and the big back muscles, along with rhomboids and rear delts. And the fly is really just rhomboids and rear delts, so you don't have as much power there. Okay, there we go. We've done the push, we've done the pull, we've done our lower body. Now we're going to do those lovely Russian twists, okay? Remember, pick the one that's right for you. I'm going to start the hardest, okay, with my toes up. Keep your arms nice and straight, turn that body, okay? Holding onto a weight, whatever that means. Okay, household item or a dumbbell, or you know, maybe you have medicine balls at home. Okay, oh, that's too much, not a problem. I can keep going without a weight. Okay, maybe that gets to a point where, oh, that's too much. Okay, great. Just gonna put my feet down. I'm gonna keep turning my body. Not a problem. Okay, that's called a drop set, by the way. You start hard, okay, and then you're like, oh, I can't do any more, but I still have time to go. Great. So make it a little easier. My toes are still up, but I'm rotating without any weight. Now my toes, my feet are on the ground, and I've made it easier. So I've dropped the level of difficulty twice during a single set, hence the name drop set. Okay? Rotating, really focusing on twisting at the waist. Great. Now we're into the last exercise. Look at that. We are almost done our very first set. Okay. You're leaning over your ottoman, your stability ball, You're leaning into your couch, whatever, and you're doing back extensions. Drape yourself down, extend up and hold. Extend up and hold. Just breathe naturally and normally, whatever that means for you. Okay? Sorry, I know that I'm partially out of the camera here. It's a little bit hard. I should probably turn the camera for the next set. You can do it up on your toes, remember. You have your arms beside you. You're just dangling down, just don't use them to push up. You can have a weight. Make it a little more difficult. Now, the further out I roll over this ball, by the way, now you can't really see me, but the further out I roll, the harder this gets. The further back I come, easier it gets, just like the push-up. There we are. Set number 1. Awesome. 2-minute rest. How do you feel? How do you like those exercises? Love them? Hate them? Here's the thing. You're building up an inventory of exercises now. You're starting to learn different ways of working and moving your body. If you don't like one of the exercises that I give you, then you can use one of the exercises from the previous week. Just make sure that it's for the same body part, right? So kind of like we're doing with the lunges, say, right? You're like, I hate lunges. Great, you do squats, or you do hip thrusters, or you do whatever. Same thing for the core, right? When you do this back extension exercise, you may be like, I don't like that. It doesn't feel right for me. If you remember last week, I showed you an exercise called the reverse hyperextension, right? So it's not a back extension, it's a reverse back extension where you're lifting your legs. It doesn't do exactly the same thing, but it's all part of a system called the posterior chain that runs from the back of your head all the way down to your knees. So it's an equally good substitution. You know, I'd rather you do something rather than nothing. So there you go. Check in with how you're feeling. Remember, I'm going to turn the camera a little bit for this next 2 sets. There we go. Pay attention to how you're feeling, right? If you feel that you need to take extra time between sets, we're resting for 2 minutes. Rest for longer if that's what you need, okay? Stop that's the beauty of having a video, is just stop the video. So feel free to go to rest for as long as you need to until you feel you've gotten enough of your breath back that you're ready to go. And by the way, if after 1 or 2 sets you're feeling really nauseated and you're feeling like you can't go on, stop. Don't try and push yourself through nausea. It's only going to get worse, okay? I'm actually going to talk about that this week before I post this video, okay? All right, there it is. We're ready to go. And we're into the lunges. Lunge twist, okay? Lunge twist. Half lunge twist. Half lunge twist. No problem. Just lunge. Half lunge, right? Whatever works. Again, remember, not trying to kill yourself here, folks, okay? Or let's do those hip thrusters. Great for the glutes. Lunges aren't working for me, Mike. Not a problem. Just do the hip thrust. Make sure you're laying your head back, right? Don't strain the neck. Stay on the heels. Squeeze your butt cheeks together at the top. Or donkey kicks. Single leg deadlifts. Remember, you want to do equal amounts on both sides. So if you're only doing 30-second sets, 15 seconds aside. Try to not hold on when you do these if you can. You know, really hard to do, and you can also hold weights, by the way, doing those. Nice and challenging. Okay, good. Let's go to the press. I'm just going to assume that arms are enough, okay? By the way, you don't have to press up and go to the sides. You can also press up and go to the front. Press up, side, you can alternate. Press up, front, or just do to the front, right? But again, you're like, Mike, my shoulders are hurting, not a problem. Let's just do side delt raise, front delt raise, and one might feel better than the other, okay? Might feel no pain here, you might feel some pain here, not a problem. Let's just do these then. Easy enough. Pick the exercise that doesn't hurt the joint. Joint pain is always bad. Always and everywhere bad, okay? right. About 10 seconds to go. I'm just going to finish with the chest press side delt raise that I was demonstrating. Okay, all right, good. Into the next one. Into the wall, close as possible. Can you see me over here? Yes, you can. Okay, good. All right. Grab onto that strap, sit up nice and straight and pull, squeeze, squeeze. May take a second to make sure my hands are equal distance from the top, so I'm pulling equally with both arms. Okay, really squeeze those shoulder blades at the bottom. You don't have a band, not a problem. Focus on squeezing the shoulder blades, pulling the elbows back into the body, not in the front, but into the body. If that's not enough of a challenge, again, either sitting or standing. And I'll show it sitting this time. You can do the row, fly, row, fly. Again, sitting is really good if standing for too long bothers your back or any one of your joints, okay? But you can do it standing. Where are we at time-wise? Good, less than 10 seconds to go. Okay. All right. And there it is. Okay, now we are into those lovely Russian twists. Being a little sarcastic there if I am going based on what my clients tell me. They tend to report that these Russian twists are horrid things. I will admit they're pretty challenging. Okay, so the hardest of hardest actually is keeping your legs straight. Okay, bending them makes it a little easier. So here's the hardest, straight legs, holding onto a weight, full rotation, a little bit easier. So this is how to drop the difficulty, a little bit easier. Now I've let go of the weight. Okay, a little bit easier. My heels are on the ground. No shame in that. I really want you to focus on rotating at the trunk, whatever it takes. Even with your feet on the ground like this, you're gonna feel your hip flexors and your abs are burning, because if they're not working, you're going to fall over like this. Okay, so they must be working to hold you up, and your obliques must be working to rotate you. Okay, there we go. There is the Russian twist, and we're into the final one, which is the back extension. Okay, and again, I'm going to go a little further this time, make it a little more difficult. Okay, down, up and hold. Down, up and hold. Make sure you do that hold. That's the important part, right? Really extend that spine. Especially squeezing the shoulder blades at the top. Really focus on that, okay? It's really the upper spine you want to focus on, okay? Our lower spines are usually too extended, okay? The curve is too much in them. It's the upper spine that we want to work on, okay? So we're doing a squeezing of the shoulder blades as well as an extension of the spine. And if you'll notice, I'm pulling my elbows apart from each other to really focus on that squeezing of the spine at the top. Where are we at here? Okay, 4 more seconds. Good. All right. Okay, 2 sets, 67% done of the second day. We have 1 more set to go, and then you are done for the week, if you like. Or you could do either week 3, day 1, or today, week 3, day 2, 1 more time this week. Okay, and remember again to try and keep a day in between the workouts. So again, principles to remember, please remember. Joint pain is always and everywhere bad. Try a different version of the exercise that doesn't hurt your joints, and if you can't find one, that's what the comments and that's what Facebook Messenger is for. Please reach out to me and ask me. I will be happy to help you, okay? I will give you an alternative. It may be very different from any of the exercises I've shown you. I may give you a way of really isolating the muscle. Oh, and I forgot to show you that other posture exercise. I'm going to try and make a mental note to show it to you on this set. And this would be a good one to do on your own, by the way, if you struggle with posture issues. But yeah, joint pain is always and everywhere bad, so don't be ashamed to ask me for something different. Like I said, it might be really different, but it'll help you. I'm going to give you something to help you rehabilitate it, or if I get the sense that I can't rehabilitate it, I can tell you who to contact to help you out, okay? Joint pain is nothing to mess around with. Exercise can really make it worse rather than better if you're not careful. Okay, so how's your breathing? How are you feeling? We got 30 seconds left to go. We're about to start into the next set. Are you ready, or do you need to pause it for a little bit? Give yourself an extra minute or two. There's no shame in that. Do what you need to do, okay? I'm going to assume that you're ready to go, so in 10 more seconds we're going to be back in doing those crazy lunges. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Here we go. Lunge twist. Lunge twist. Okay, half lunges, right? Many people can only do a half lunge. That's okay. You know, lunges are really hard. And they're important to do because we walk upstairs and we walk. Those are all lunging motions, but you know, feel free to leave the twist out if that's too unstable. No problem, just doing half lunges here. Nice and easy, make sure you're staying on the heel of the front foot, okay? Yeah, but if that's too much, no problem. Just gonna do squats like we did on day 1 of all 3 weeks so far, okay? How's that feel? Knees, joints, everything okay? Don't go down any further than causes you any pain. Choose your foot position. Some people might like a closer stance, some people might like a wider stance. Finding as I'm getting older, I like a little bit of a wider stance. I used to like a really close one. I don't know what that's about. But, okay, 5 more seconds. Almost there. Great. Let's go to the push exercise. Again, I'm going to use just my hands here. You can hold on to weights, but this can be challenging enough. If you're doing a minute-long sets of this, getting your hands right up over your head, bringing them up to the side, can be really super challenging. Okay. Remember to try rotating your hands in. When you do the shoulder press, palms facing each other. If you have shoulder pain when you do a shoulder press, not a problem. Okay. Or just the side raises, or just the front raises, or front, side, down, sorry, front, side, down, side, front, down, right? Whatever works, whatever you can do. Just make it work for you. No pain. No pain equals gain in this case. Okay, great, that's the push. Now we're going to do the pull. Start. Okay, so again, if I was facing into the door, I'd be pulling down the band, squeezing my shoulder blades, pulling my arms back. Okay, and if I don't have a band, I can do it standing or I can do it sitting. For some people, this is a strong enough motion when you focus really on pulling down and squeezing together the shoulder blades at the bottom. Okay, this can be challenging enough, imagining that you're holding onto a band, okay? But maybe not. Let's go back to the one that I showed you initially. Just move the chair out of the way. Oops. Okay. You can do it sitting down or standing like this. Fly, row. Fly, row. Each movement requires a good squeeze of the shoulder blades. This one is harder than this one because I'm using less muscles, okay? So you're going to have to choose a weight where you can do the fly without getting stuck, because you'll always be able to lift more on the row, okay? Great. All right, Russian twist. This chair out of the way, it fell. Okay. Over here, and here we go. Okay, hardest is legs straight, turning, holding a weight. Bend my knees, makes it a little easier. Okay, holding the weight. Put the weight down, a little easier now. Still turning, and put my feet down, but keep going. That's a drop set, right? I did 3 drops there, okay? First drop was when I bent my knees. That's drop number 1. Drop number 2, put the weight down. Okay? Drop number 3, put the toes down. Okay, just keep going. Turning my body. Remember, I'm not just turning my arms, I'm focusing on turning my body. There we go. Okay, you excited? Last exercise, folks. Here we go. Okay, facing you and back extension. Try and keep the weight up here by your chin. Further down it is here. The shorter the lever is, the less work you're getting. Try and keep it way out here. Good. Pause at the top, remember. Pause. Down. Pause. Down. Pause. Oh, I think someone's come to say hi. Is that you, Lainey? Lainey? Come say hi. Come say hi to the people. Okay. Did I set the timer? Hope so. Yep, 5 more seconds. Okay. Shows I must be getting tired going, when's this thing over? Sure that's happened to you a time or two. There we go, there's the timer. Okay. All right, folks. Good for you. So, 2 workouts, 2 days, 5 exercises. Some of the exercises are harder, more challenging, more complex. I think that's fantastic. You guys are doing great. Check in with yourself. How are you feeling? And I don't think I've talked about this enough, but nausea, dizziness, that sort of thing, that is not something to be worked through. When you're training, if that happens, I want you to stop, okay? And I'm going to show you here what to do. I'm going to do a separate video on this, but I'll show you here what to do. If you feel that way, put yourself in what's called the recovery position, okay? So if any of you have taken CPR, this is the recovery position. Part of it anyways, not the full recovery position. The full recovery position would be like this, with your head turned to the side. Do turn your head to the side if you feel like you might vomit, and try not to vomit in this position. Try to be up, either on your hands and knees, or preferably in the washroom by that time. You're at risk of choking being on your back like this, but the reason why you turn the head to the side is there's less risk. But what you do is you just stay in this position until you feel better. Because what's going to happen is blood is going to start flowing back to your upper body and to your brain. There's usually 2 reasons why you feel nauseated and dizzy when you're working out. One is because you have too much blood lactate. You have too much lactate in your bloodstream, the concentration is too high, and your blood is in your lower body because you've been exercising a lot. You want to get it back up here, okay? You'll feel better usually pretty rapidly if you do this. But don't, when you feel better, get up and start exercising again. Call it for the day, okay? Once you've gone to that level, once you've gone through your lactate threshold, chances are you are not going to feel good if you start working out again, okay? All right, so there it is. Week number 3, congratulations. Feel free to do 1 more workout, either day 1 or day 2 this week. Any questions, comments? Put it down below, okay? Talk to you next week.